Let's be real. When everything goes sideways and your life is on the line, the one thing you absolutely cannot have is your handgun failing on you. There are no do-overs, no second chances. You get one opportunity to make it count. Today, we're not talking about flashy safe queens. We're talking about the sidearms that soldiers carry on deployment. The duty guns that cops bet their lives on, shift after shift. And yeah, the tools that everyday Americans like us carry for self-defense. So with agencies and military units looking at new contracts for 2025 and beyond, what are they really looking for? They're not just grabbing the newest shiny object. They're looking at a legacy, a proven track record of performance. The guns of tomorrow are judged against the legends of yesterday. Today, we're looking at the 7 handguns that set that absolute benchmark for reliability. These are the pistols that any new sidearm has to beat just to get in the door. If you want a gun that you know, without a doubt, will go bang every single time you pull the trigger, this is the list for you. Number 7. The Springfield XD series. Kicking things off at number 7 is the XD lineup from Springfield Armory. Now, a lot of folks might not know this, but this pistol's story actually starts over in Croatia, where it was born as the HS-2000. Springfield saw what they had, brought it to the States, slapped the XD name on it, and it just took off with American shooters. So why did it get so popular? The XD built its reputation on being dead reliable, feeling good in the hand, and being simple to use. But the one thing everyone talks about, the feature that defines it, is that grip safety. Paired up with a striker-fired system, it gives a lot of people, especially those who concealed carry, a real peace of mind. It's a safety that's on until you have a firm grip, and you don't even have to think about flipping a switch to deactivate it. Durability is just part of its DNA. You've got a forged steel slide on a polymer frame that is tough as nails. This is a gun that's meant to be shot, a lot. We're talking thousands and thousands of rounds without complaining. And when you finally do get it dirty enough to clean, taking it apart is about as easy as it gets. While you can get it in a few different flavors, 9mm has always been the crowd pleaser. The standard XD9 gives you a 4-inch barrel and a solid 16+1 capacity. Pros: it's dependable as the sunrise, it won't break the bank, and it's dead simple to take care of. Cons: that grip safety. It's a total love it or hate it feature. Some guys won't carry a pistol without one, and others think it's just one more thing that could potentially go wrong. You can usually find a new XD for somewhere between $550 and $600, which makes it one of the best bangs for your buck in a full-size pistol today. Number 6. The Smith & Wesson M&P9. All right. Coming in at number 6 is a handgun that was designed from the ground up for one thing: serious duty. The Smith & Wesson M&P9. M&P, it stands for military and police. And I'll tell you what, this pistol earned that name. It's a striker-fired workhorse that's been picked up by countless police departments and carried by a ton of folks for personal protection. Its biggest claim to fame, especially when it first came out, was the ergonomics. Those interchangeable backstraps were a game changer. It meant you, the shooter, could actually make the grip fit your hand, not the other way around. And a better grip means better control, which means faster, more accurate follow-up shots when it really matters. The shootability is where this gun really shines. It has a super low bore axis, which does a fantastic job of taming muzzle flip. That means you can run double taps quicker and get your sights back on target faster. When fractions of a second count, that's a huge deal. The slide is stainless steel with Smith & Wesson's Armornite finish, which makes it incredibly tough against rust, corrosion, and just the daily abuse of being carried. Your standard full-size model has a 4.25-inch barrel and holds 17+1 rounds of 9mm. Pros: top-tier ergonomics, proven combat reliability, and it's trusted by the pros. Cons: that factory trigger. Now, they have gotten a lot better over the years, but for a long time, the #1 complaint was that it felt a little spongy. The good news? The aftermarket for these things is massive. You can swap it out easily. A full-size M&P9 will usually run you somewhere in the $550 to $650 range. Number 5. The Heckler & Koch USP. At number 5, we have a pistol that is, and I say this with all due respect, built like a German tank. The Heckler & Koch USP, or Universal Self-Loading Pistol. When this beast hit the market back in the early 90s, it made waves. It was engineered with one goal: to function in the absolute worst conditions imaginable. The reputation the USP has for being overbuilt and nearly indestructible is legendary. I mean, H&K didn't just do normal tests. They famously tortured these guns, pushing them way beyond what any pistol should have to endure, and they just kept on running. One of its coolest features was how modular the controls were. It was way ahead of its time. Depending on the variant, you could have a traditional double-action, single-action with a safety and a decocker, or you could change it up for different modes of operation. In its full-size 9mm version, you're getting a 4.25-inch barrel and a 15+1 round magazine. Pros: it's one of the toughest, most reliable combat handguns ever made. Period. It's trusted by elite units across the globe for a reason. Cons: well, it's an H&K, so be prepared for the price tag. It's also a bit of a brick. It's a big, blocky, full-size gun. You're usually looking at somewhere between $900 and $1,000 quality costs. Number 4. The Colt 1911. At number 4, an absolute American legend. The Colt 1911. This is the masterpiece from the man himself, John Moses Browning. It was adopted by the U.S. military way back in 1911 and served as the standard sidearm through World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Think about that. Specialized units are still using it today. Over a century later, the 1911 platform is still one of the most respected handguns in the world. Its genius is in its simple, rugged design and that trigger. Man, that trigger. The single-action trigger on a good 1911 is the gold standard. It's short, it's crisp, and it breaks like a glass rod. That consistency is what allows a skilled shooter to be scarily accurate with it. Now, while Colt was the OG, pretty much every gun maker out there has their own version of the 1911 today. The classic government model has a 5-inch barrel and traditionally holds 7+1 or 8+1 rounds of good old .45 ACP. Pros: an unmatched historical track record and arguably the best pistol trigger design in history. Cons: lower capacity compared to modern pistols, and they can be picky with ammo and magazines if they aren't well made. Maintenance is also more involved. Prices are all over the map. You can find a solid entry-level one for around $800, or you can spend thousands on a custom-grade work of art. Number 3. The Beretta 92 FS. Sliding into the number 3 spot is the Beretta 92 FS. For a whole generation of us who served in the military, this pistol is just the M9. The U.S. military picked it up back in 1985, and it was our primary sidearm for over 30 years. Even though the military has mostly moved on, the 92 FS cemented its place in history because of its incredible reliability. Its most recognizable feature is that open slide design. That huge opening on top makes it almost impossible to have a stovepipe malfunction because there's just nowhere for the empty case to get trapped. It just flies right out. It makes for a really smooth and dependable action. The trigger is a classic double and single action. That first trigger pull is long and heavy, a very deliberate safety feature, and every shot after that is a much lighter, crisper, single-action pull. The full-size model has a 4.9-inch barrel and a standard capacity of 15+1 rounds of 9mm. Pros: it's battle-proven, smooth shooting, and one of the most reliable designs out there thanks to that open slide. Cons: it's a big, thick gun. The grip is chunky, and for people with smaller hands, that long double-action trigger pull can be a real challenge. You can typically find a new one for between $700 and $800. Number 2. The SIG P226. This pistol's reputation was basically carved out by the most elite units on the planet. Back in the 80s, it went head-to-head with the Beretta for that big U.S. military contract. As we all know, it lost out to the Beretta mostly because of price. But that didn't slow this pistol down one bit. Instead, the P226 became the go-to sidearm for units that could choose whatever they wanted. We're talking about the U.S. Navy SEALs. They needed a handgun that could take an absolute beating, salt water, sand, mud, you name it, and the P226 delivered every single time. Mechanically, it's a double and single action gun, but its trademark is that decocking lever. There's no manual safety to mess with. You shoot, and when you're done, you just press the decocker to safely drop the hammer. It's an incredibly fast and safe system. It also has a full metal alloy frame, which gives it some nice heft. That weight is your friend. It just soaks up recoil and makes for super smooth shooting. The specs? The P226 has a 4.4-inch barrel, and standard mags hold 15+1 rounds of 9mm. Pros: unquestionable reliability, a fantastic trigger, and a pedigree earned in the hands of the world's best operators. Cons: it's pricey, and that all-metal construction makes it heavier for concealed carry compared to polymer-framed guns. Depending on the specific model, you're usually looking at a price tag between $900 and $1,200. Number 1. The Glock 19. And here we are. Number 1. If there is a single pistol that defines the modern era of firearms, it's the Glock 19. This compact 9mm is the perfect blend of everything. It's small enough to conceal, it has a serious capacity, and its ruggedness is absolutely legendary. It is, quite simply, one of the most balanced handgun designs ever created. People call it the Goldilocks gun for a reason. It's not too big, not too small. It's just right. The polymer frame, which started a revolution, keeps it light. Unloaded, it's under 24 ounces. It has a 4-inch barrel and a standard capacity of 15+1 rounds, with a whole universe of magazines available if you need more. The Glock Safe Action System has 3 internal safeties. There's no external switch to forget, no decocker. The trigger pull is the exact same every single time, from the first shot to the last. It's simple, it's fast, and it just works. It's also a pistol that just seems to fit almost everybody. The grip angle, the simple controls, it just works for a huge range of people, which is why it's probably the most recommended gun for new and experienced shooters alike. Pros: legendary reliability, simplicity, huge aftermarket support, and it's affordable. Cons: the stock sights are plastic and should probably be replaced. Some people aren't fans of the grip angle or the trigger, but that's personal preference. You can walk into just about any gun store in America and find a new Glock 19 for between $550 and $650. For that price, you're getting a piece of the most dominant handgun platform in the world. The parts, the holsters, the mags, they are everywhere. So there you have it, 7 handguns that have earned their reputation by doing the one thing that matters most. They just work. From the timeless 1911 to the seal-tested P226 and the undisputed king of modern carry, the Glock 19. These are the pistols that set the standard for what reliability really means. All right, now it's your turn. I want to hear from you down in the comments. Which one of these legendary sidearms would you trust your life with? And more importantly, what's a classic, reliable pistol that I totally missed on this list? Drop your answer below. And as always, if you got some value out of this, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that little bell so you don't miss what we've got coming up next. Stay safe, stay sharp, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.